So today we're making Tennessee pulled turkey sandwiches. But the question is, do you need to cook a whole bird or can you just start with parts?
No need to try to wrangle a whole turkey onto the grill.
That's
for
good.
This. We're using parts, and actually when we found some in recipes and online, they start with breast meat. Here's our mission: how to make turkey breast on the grill, smoked, so it's still nice, moist, and juicy.
That's a hurdle.
It is a hurdle. Well, we're gonna start off talking about the turkey. Now, these are 2 split turkey breasts. They're obviously boneless and skinless, so that's more points against us, keeping these moist. But it's gonna be a lot easier to deal with these boneless, skinless breasts. So each of these weighs about 2 pounds, maybe 1 3/4 to 2 pounds each. Now, all I need to do at this point, I'm gonna pat them dry. These are going to go onto plastic wrap. Each of these, they're so big, they deserve their own piece of plastic. Now, we want to keep the meat juicy, and as you know, with lean meat, it's always a good idea to add salt in some way. Sometimes we brine, soak it in salt water. Sometimes we just salt all over the meat and let time do its work. That's what we're doing today. So this is a tablespoon of kosher salt. Second side here. It's going to work its way into the meat and season it all throughout. I'm going to wrap these tightly.
I'll do one, I'll follow your lead.
There we go. Right onto a sheet pan. This has to go into the fridge a minimum of 8 hours up to overnight. Give that salt plenty of time to do its job. So if you wouldn't mind, you've got clean hands, go into the fridge, putting this in. I'm gonna go wash my hands.
You got it.
Now, before we get the turkey on the grill, we have to set up the grill. We're using charcoal here, really good smoke. We're gonna add a little bit of wood a little bit later. Now, this is a chimney 3/4 full of charcoal briquettes. That's about 4.5 quarts of charcoal briquettes. Went ahead and lit it. And now you can see that the top's got a nice layer of fine ash. Now, that only took about 15 minutes for it to get to this point. We're gonna dump these coals on 1/2 of the grill.
Half grill fire.
That's right. So I'm gonna spread these out into an even layer. Now, we have a hot side and a cold side too, and that is pretty standard anytime that you're smoking meat. Speaking of smoke, we have 2 cups of wood chips. These are hickory. Pretty much whatever wood that you have that you like to flavor the meat, that's gonna work here. Mesquite can be a little bit iffy, but anything like hickory, oak, that's perfect. So this is 2 cups of wood chips, and went ahead and we soaked them for about 15 minutes. Of course, they're drained because they're not in water. So we're gonna make a foil packet. So I'll go ahead and dump these right in the middle. Now, this is one of those times that we're actually going to tell you how big to make the foil packet. And I have to say, when I started hearing about specific sizes for foil packets with chips in them, I thought, have we gone over the edge? We have jumped the shark.
Yeah, right?
But we have not jumped the shark, because if you make the packet too small, then the actual pile of wood chips is too deep, and the wood chips in the middle will not give off any smoke. But if you make it too thin, they'll burn too quickly.
Burn city.
Exactly. So we're going to make this about 8 by 4.5 inches. All right, and I like to start with just one side over, and you want to be careful not to poke through the foil. All right, and side over. And now I'm going to take a paring knife and just make 2 evenly spaced slits. Now, they're about 2 inches long, and that's going to allow the right amount of smoke to come out. So these are going to go right onto the coals. And now, grate goes right on the top. Now, I am going to clean this in just a moment, but we want to let this grill grate heat up because it's going to release some of that schmutz that's on there. So, lid goes on, and the vent is open, so it's going to keep the coals nice and hot. We're going to let that grate heat up about 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right, 5 minutes was all we needed, and now the grill grate is hot, and we're starting to get a little bit of smoke off of that packet. And that's all we need at this point because it's going to continue to smoke. So now I'm going to take a grill scraper and really scrape off all of that junk that's on there. After we scrape it, we always like to clean it. Little water paper towels, just dip it in some vegetable oil. All right, so let's move on down to that turkey. Now, before we put them on, we want to season them. Of course, they were already seasoned with salt. Now we're going to add pepper, 2 kinds. I've got a mixture of black pepper here, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and a little bit of cayenne, 1/2 teaspoon.
Ooh.
We're not going too crazy with barbecue spices because turkey is so lean and mild flavored. We really want some of that flavor to come through. We also want the smoke to kind of be the front and center flavor.
So just a little kick.
Just a little kick. So I'm going to sprinkle this mixture on both sides. It's going to have a little bit of heat from the 2 kinds of pepper, but it's not going to be overwhelming. Now, these are going to go on the cooler side of the grill, not directly over the packet or the coals. And you see this area of the breast here, it's much thicker. So we're going to position these thicker ends towards the fire, and that way the thinner ends won't dry out.
Makes sense.
All right, lid goes on. There we go. And we've got the vent open and it's placed over the turkey. So that any smoke that's in there is going to draw it through the meat and out through the top. Now we're not going to cook it all the way through at this point. We're gonna leave it in there between 30, 40 minutes. But what we're looking for is the internal temperature to reach 120 degrees.
All right.
Let's check on that turkey. Now, turkey registers 120 degrees inside. It is not done at this point.
I'll say.
But we are done with the smoke. So we're gonna take these and put them into a disposable pan. There we go. Doesn't matter if they're in one layer. You know, one of the problems with turkey,
It's dry.
you're right, it's dry and it's very tender, which is great, but it's also very lean. So we're gonna fix that with some butter.
Now you're talking.
Now, as this continues to cook, that butter is going to melt all over that turkey. It's also going to help to make a sauce between the turkey juices and the butter in the bottom of the pan, and we're going to use that in a little bit. Now, if you wouldn't mind handing me that piece of foil.
Yep. So this is like butter smoked turkey.
Great title. Why didn't we think of that? So this is going to go back onto the colder side. Lid goes on. And now we're going to let this cook until the turkey registers 160 degrees, and that's going to take another 25 to 35 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right, so I think it's time to get the turkey off the grill. So I'm going to take it off the grill and carefully remove the foil. Now we are going to need that foil in just a minute, so we'll set it aside.
Ooh.
Turkey juices, butter, cayenne, black pepper.
A little smoke.
This and the smoke, of course. Let's check that temp, and we are looking for a temperature of about 160 degrees. Now, before we proceed with this, we want to go ahead and cover it up again with the foil. And we're going to let this rest for about 20 minutes, going to reabsorb some of those juices. So good, but for now, we can take it inside.
All right.
All right, so the turkey's still resting, has a few more minutes left. We're about to shred it, but in the meantime, let's make some sauce.
All right.
This is a cup of mayonnaise. Now this is a little bit tangy, a little bit spicy. So here's the tangy part. It's 1/3 cup of cider vinegar.
Ooh, that is taggy.
And we have a tablespoon of horseradish. Now some recipes had it in it, some didn't. We love that little bit of kick that it gives it. This has been drained. We have a 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt and a teaspoon of black pepper, a little kick. And if that's not enough, we have a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne.
Bam.
All right, let me whisk this together here. A couple more ingredients. We have a teaspoon of Worcestershire. It's going to get a little depth to our sauce. And 1 minced garlic clove. And that sauce is easy as that.
Nice.
The sauce is done, so let's move on to the turkey.
Ooh, sitting in that nice butter bath.
It's time to shred. So we're going to get them out of the pan. Oh, smell that smoky smokiness. All right, I'm going to set this pan aside just for a moment.
You're not getting rid of those juices though, are you?
Heck no, Julia. I'm getting 2 straws and we're going to town on that. I have you equipped over there with 2 forks. All right, so we're going to shred this into bite-sized pieces.
And it's nice, there's no skin because all the spices are right on the meat, so it's gonna stay there the whole time.
The meat looks great. Beautiful turkey. Now I have some of those pan juices. I saved a 1/2 cup. Just going to quickly bring that back together and pour it all over. That actually looks like pulled pork a little bit. It is so moist and juicy. All right, let's build some sandwiches.
Okay.
You're gonna need a bun.
All right.
Let me give you a little bit of the outer part where that spice rub is. Now, the sauce. And it kind of goes together. Think of a turkey sandwich. You'd put mayo on it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Now, speaking of shredding, we've got the shredded lettuce. I love that this is iceberg, so it's just clean and crispy. There you go.
Oh, that looks good.
All right, let's eat.
That is a good turkey sandwich. You can really taste the smoke, but the meat isn't dried out. In fact, you said it looks like pork earlier. It tastes as juicy as pork, but it has that delicate turkey flavor.
The meat is juicy, a little smoky. You get that crisp lettuce. Soft bun. It's got to go on a soft bun.
The white sauce, too, with that vinegar and the horseradish, plays perfectly with the turkey meat and the smoke.
It does. This is the way to eat turkey.
To make these killer turkey sandwiches, start by using boneless turkey breasts and salt them overnight. For flavor, spice the turkey with just a little black pepper and cayenne and add a packet of wood chips to the grill. Start the breasts right on the grill with the thickest part closest to the fire, then transfer them to a pan with butter to finish cooking. Make a white barbecue sauce with mayonnaise, then drizzle it over the shredded turkey on a soft roll. From Cook's Country, Tennessee pulled turkey sandwiches.
Looks like you have room for
You know me. You really know me.
Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.